Hello, this is Ducky, and welcome to a very special and different video. Today we're going to be doing a director's commentary of my new movie, A Separate Piece. This movie started out as a school project, as most of my videos do, that are successful. Because there's a little bit more of a push there when you have to have a deadline and you have to get it done to, push your grade. But anyway, like I said, this started out as a school project and turned into a masterpiece. Today I'm just going to go through the whole movie and I'm going to really dissect everything. I'll be pausing often and I'm going to be talking about, behind the scenes stuff and things in the script. The script will also be on the screen, and we're going to talk about differences between the script and the movie, because there was a lot of differences, plus stuff from the book that it was adapted, and all the struggles that we went through to write, film, and edit this in less than 2 weeks. So pretty crazy. Let's get right into it. Pretty excited to talk to you guys. Let's do it.
This is a story of two boys in the middle upper class of Devon School.
So this is obviously at our school.
One was a lonely, introverted intellectual.
Here's Katie, first appearance. This is our English teacher that we did the project for. So nice little cameo there. I love these walking shots.
Handsome, taunting, and a daredevil athlete.
I did the blurs in post, and I really like them.
What happened between
very
them at
cinematic.
school one summer during the early years of World War II is the subject of the story. A separate piece.
So the narrator there is voiced by Darian Donaldson. If you didn't notice, he's also the one. He just makes minor appearances throughout the movie, but he's at the end with the funeral, and he's the doctor that pronounces my character dead. Spoiler warning. And he's also in the Winter Carnival when he is running with Brinker. So he has some tiny little parts that are kind of spread out throughout the thing. Oh, I think he's in Blitzball too. So, but yeah, he actually had a lot more lines, as you can see in the script, where he talks about Gene as an individual and like expands on him, and he talks about Finney. But when I was in post, and we have those lines recorded, but when I was in post, for one, we didn't have that much footage to work around, but also it kind of just drags on a little bit too long, so I decided to cut that out. And this was originally going to overlap over them at the tree, but we didn't get enough B-roll footage at the tree, so I had to put it over. We had to film extra cinematic shots for this scene. So fast forwarding, just like the book did. Book started off in the future. The movie didn't, at least the new one that I saw. So it's a nice little addition that we got to put in. And this is in page 1 of the script, but we ended up shifting all this around. So we get these little flashbacks, or flashbacks, but it's kind of like a flash forward in the film too. And you can see all these little important moments throughout the film, and I think that's pretty cool. I did that in post too. Actually, in the script it says, Gene, a peacefully minded, middle-aged man, walked slowly to a tree, closely examining, as if bringing sharp, detailed memories back to his eyes. So, when we were in that scene, we didn't expect me to actually, do this in post, but Katie definitely brought Gene's character to that point where it seems realistic that, flashbacks would be coming back, and I was able to do that in post when I thought that would be a good idea. So this part right here where her face her face changes to her old self. We tried to do this, but the sun kept getting in her eyes, so she ended up moving positions, but we tried. It'll be in bloopers. You'll see it. There's the tree. What I like about this tree, it's such a cinch.
Phineas, nobody knows what that word means. I am not a dictionary.
Well, you could be, Forrester. You really could be. Oh, man. So as you can, if you can spot it, or I don't know why you would be looking at my butt, but if you look at my butt very closely, there's a lot of mud there. And that is because this hill was very, very, very muddy when we were filming on it. So not only did I slip and fall, Katie also did slip and fall when she was taking off her clothes to jump out of the tree, which was a deleted scene. So yeah, those will be in bloopers, but yeah, that's just a little funny behind the scenes moment that we both were smeared with mud that day, so that was nice. And this was the first thing we filmed this day.
You really making that jump?
Yeah, you bet you're darn tootin' I am.
Alright. Break a leg.
Yeah.
He is just one incredible man. I don't like guys.
So we adopted the little office talking head things, and I like that. She flinches away. So yeah, our teacher loves The Office, and we love The Office. The actors who are in this, and she decided that we should do a Office-like styled a separate piece movie for our project that was due in a week and a half. So a little bit daunting, but you know, we got it done. I don't know. I mean, I think it was pretty cool. We tried to work with the camera angles to make it more like The Office, you know, the zooms and stuff like that. And the talking heads were one of the biggest things that were Office inspired to be put into this. And I think it turned out pretty good. Well, if I'm doing it, you're doing it too. Well, here's my contribution to the war effort. Okay, so that's a great moment. The switch from the tree to a kiddie pool. So yeah, one of the first things I came up with when we were designing this film was let's have a kiddie pool that they're gonna jump into, because we're not gonna we don't have really many bodies of water around here in Maryland. So also it's winter, so we were like, no, that's not happening. So yeah, I decided that we needed a kiddie pool. So I was searching around for a kiddie pool for like a week or so, just because I knew the project was coming up. So I started thinking about that. But I eventually ordered one off of Amazon because I could not find anybody that had one, and I got it here. And yeah, we filled it up with really hot water, so we wouldn't be freezing. And yeah, it was actually pretty nice compared to the cold weather that we were in. It was nice to jump in that warm water. But yeah, I think that's a really cool moment.
Who does he think I am? A 10th grade female who thinks she's better than everybody else, and who tries to fit in, completely disregarding her mental and physical health and self-esteem just for some pathetic stunt.
Katie really delivers on this Jean character because she plays a man, but it's very, you good, homie? Ironic, because you think Jean's gay in the book. So this scene was originally adapted from the hot dog scene in the book, but we had pizza, so in the script it actually says hot dogs. I think I'd like to call you my best friend.
I love you too.
What?
I love this food.
Oh. I'm gonna go for a swim. These multiple pool falls for no reason right at the beginning. It's so funny. Okay, this is a great scene. So we even dressed up this paper right here to say Gene Forrester and Mr. Hansel, and then we also did the date, as you can see. So this is a adaptation from the book where Gene fails his math test after him and Finney go to the beach, and so we wanted to adapt that, and we love putting Mr. Hansel in these things. So. We asked him if he would want to be the mean math teacher, so he was like, yeah. This was the first thing we filmed, actually. It was really early in the process of the film. Like, we got the project on a Thursday, I think, and we began writing that night, and we filmed this that Friday, I think. So I know it was in the middle of health class, and me and Katie, we went out and met with Mr. Hansel, and we bugged him to do this, but we had to get it done. So we bugged him, and he eventually did it, and we had an awesome time doing this, and it turned out to a phenomenal and hilarious scene by Mr. Hansel. So yeah, it's a nice little cameo. We had this Chick-fil-A sauce on the table that was just so irrelevant, and it was so funny in filming. We were looking at it.
Sir, I'm done.
You suck. You failed. You're a terrible human being.
You can't really see the F that good sometimes because that marker was running out of ink when we filmed. I love this part.
I flunked it.
We didn't plan for this talking head of Hansel laughing, but it's pretty funny. All right, here's Blitzball.
I'm Leper Lapelier. I have a weird name, but that's about it. Finney has created this new game called Blitzball. Basically, it's you tackle whoever has the ball. It's pretty fun.
Leper! Gene! No.
All right, so that was not planned, that part. So we were, we knew we had to tackle Katie in the end, but we were all running towards Katie, and she got tackled before I got there. So once she was already on the ground, it was either I was stepping on her, falling on her, or I just had to jump. So I jumped, and I fell too. So we got to use that part in the actual film. We actually had like our whole class, our whole English class, and they were lined up on the side and they were watching, and some of them got cell phone recordings of me falling. So that's pretty great.
Oh my god!
That blitzball thing was really fun to film. We got to use my friend Zach. He just like randomly volunteered that he would also be in the game, so he wasn't part of the main project, but he was a cameo in here, and that was pretty nice. So this is also Leper's first appearance too.
That right there is the Lapelier refusal. Woo!
So we also filmed the training sequence the same day as we filmed Blitzball too.
Why would we do that? That sounds like a horrible idea.
Well, of course. Let's get this done.
So there's this part in the book where Finney suggests to do a double jump, and then Gene eventually pushes him out of the tree, or jounces the limb, as it says in the book. But it's his fault. But we decided I didn't want to jump out of a tree, so we were gonna do this with this stupid math test part, and she hits me and I fall, which is hilarious.
What?
Nothing. Hey, look, a beaver.
Oh, really?
There we go. Down. And my position shifts where I'm laying. We just didn't remember how I was laying, but it's okay. It was a great fall. I got hurt a lot filming this, so that was great.
Yeah, that really looked painful. Finney?
Oh. Forrester, nice to see your pretty face again.
So there's this mirror in the background. You can see Noah filming, and you can kind of see Darian too, but we had 2 cameras on this. But you can definitely see Noah.
What's wrong? You're the best pal in the whole wide world. You can tell me. It's not like I'm gonna tell you to shut up or anything.
I love this part.
You won't believe me. You're not gonna listen.
I'm gonna listen.
Finney,
I love this tense music.
I pushed you out of the tree.
Stop with that nonsense. Shut up.
I knew he wouldn't listen. He's too stubborn to believe it. Finney,
No.
Finney, listen to
No,
me, Finney.
just stop it. God, sit down for a second, man.
Finney,
I love this
listen
scene.
to me.
Forrester.
This is a great scene from the movie and the book where he's like, you know, he's like, I'm not gonna tell you to shut up or anything, and then he's just like, shut up, or, you know, I'm gonna hit you. It's hilarious.
I need you to listen to me.
Stop it, Forrester. Jesus, I'm gonna hit you. I can't. If you don't shut up.
Hit me? Okay, come here. Hit me. You can't even get up. You can't even come near me.
I'll kill you, Forrester. Get out. Go away. Just go away. Go away. I swear.
So this is the end of Act 1 in the script. So in the script we had 3 acts. I think the first one's called The Beginning, and the second one's called I don't even know. The Separation, and then the third one's called The Peace. So this is end of Act 1 right here. There's no really importance to that, but also another interesting thing is there was Finney talking heads, but I hated them, and they weren't filmed correctly when we filmed the talking heads, so it just didn't work out. So I didn't put them in, but I think it works perfectly fine without them. So you can see that in the script that there's some Finney talking heads. They weren't that good anyway. Also, at the beginning of Act 2, we had this new narrator part where narrator like introduces Brinker and Quackenbush and all this, and we filmed cinematic shots for the for this moment, but I didn't do it because it just broke up the the pacing of the film, and it was just kind of unneeded, and I think it stands well without it, so I think it was okay.
Late, Forrester.
Yeah, sorry, I got held up.
Crew waits for no man. Now, go get some towels.
I love this scene. This scene's great. This is such a funny scene.
Quackenbush is a jerk. He's a complete jerk, and no one really likes him. I'm just doing this because I'm a senior and I have to do something.
Gene Forrester is an unintelligent.
Noah had many problems delivering this line.
Nail if the hammer was his hand. Starting a little late to mend it seems, aren't you, Forrester?
Yeah.
So when we started filming this fight scene,
Doesn't matter.
a janitor from the science rooms all the way across the field and up in the building saw us fighting. So he came all the way down here and was checking on us.
You should be ashamed, you worthless coward. You don't know anything about who I am.
Listen here, you man, son of a.
Okay, so as you can see there, Noah drops a little B word. So he actually says butter, but yeah, I bleeped it out. And in the script, it also says butter, so you can. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, like I said, that janitor coming out, that was hilarious. But Katie and Noah's fight, we didn't actually, it was not planned to be this long and drawn out and like actually fighting each other, because we actually already filmed this scene back on another day and we just didn't have mics on them, so the audio was not good and the lighting wasn't good either. So I'm really glad we reshot this, because after we reshot it, it's beautiful, it works, and they fight more in this one. And yeah, originally we were just going to have them clash and then go off screen, and then we were going to cut to them falling in the pool. That's why it changes locations, because before it didn't. It was in the same location as where they fall in the pool. But randomly Noah falls on the ground here, as you can see in a second, and I was like, okay, let's do a fight scene now, because we have to do something. He falls on the ground right here. See? So then from right there, I was like, all right, let's just get into it. Let's just do a fight scene. It's great. Great. His punches are awesome. And she starts kicking him. It's great. And then that fall. That's so great. That's so good. Katie was so worried about falling in the pool, but it turned out great. Here's Brinker or Ethan's first appearance.
Stop it.
So,
It's one of,
no,
I think it's
I'm
his
serious.
first scene in the
I
book
bet
too,
you
or
knew
one of
all
them.
along that Finney would get hurt. That's why you picked him as your roommate.
What?
Don't think you can get past me. I know what's going on.
Ethan's an experienced actor, unlike any of us, so he is very good compared to us.
You did it yourself.
Brinker, don't be nutty.
Well, whatever happened.
Katie's very good at acting and remembering lines, and it's very impressive, and I wish she would do more acting
Whatever you
stuff,
say,
because she's
buddy.
great.
I know what he's
Amazing.
like. I know the scene of the crime. Up in that funeral tree by the river. Gene knows what he did, and he did it.
I'm turning him over to the proper authorities. Doing away with his roommate so he could have a whole room to himself. What treachery.
Why is Brinker being so nosy? It's none of his business what happened in the tree.
So originally, in the script, they were supposed to be smoking candy cigarettes, because in the book, the butt room is used for the kids to go down and they smoke down there. So originally, this was supposed to be candy cigarettes, and it was supposed to be a smoking scene, but I could not find them for the life of me, so we ended up just using the pizza that we already had there that we used for the beach scene, and we instead did I need to eat instead of I need to smoke, and that's how we got around that. And instead of her throwing a candy cigarette on the ground that's in the script, she actually threw pizza on the ground, and we had the same reaction. But I also cut out a deleted scene here of Ethan crying after
Not even
the
a
pizza gets
sound.
thrown.
You'll have your day in court.
Oh my gosh, would you just shut up? I swear, you run a joke like no.
Katie's mic stopped working in this scene, so this is why you can't hear her that good. So it cuts off right there, but originally we had more there that Ethan was crying, and I decided to cut it out. We actually aired the version in school with him crying, but then I cut it out for the final version.
Hey, Gene. I'm sorry. I took it too far back there.
This scene we had no mics, both mics stopped working,
You know, I was
so
actually thinking about it.
luckily you can hear them okay.
You know what? That's a good idea. I'm in. I'm gonna enlist too.
Sweet. Hey guys, I'm back.
You know what? I'm not gonna enlist.
Well,
I love Ethan's face there.
let's go train. Woo! Woo!
All right, so that's a great segue into the next part. So anyway, but that's a pretty funny joke from the movie and the book that, you know, Gene is like so interested in enlisting, and then as soon as Finney comes back, he's just like, never mind, I'm not gonna enlist. So we decided to incorporate that in. That was one of the original ideas that we had to put into this film. So that's pretty great. So originally this training sequence was going to take place in like an actual training room, but we decided to do it at the same time that we did Blitzball. So we immediately, right after Blitzball, we went straight in and did this training sequence. Absolutely almost killed Katie doing these exercises.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So basically we have this gym teacher, and his voice is really funny, so we made fun of, we quoted him a lot last year when we had him for gym. So I decided to have Finney randomly turn into my gym teacher right here in this sequence. This was hilarious to film. I mean, just getting to torture Katie is just hilarious. It was so funny.
5, 6, faster.
We're under very strict time constraints filming this too, which was really weird, but it turned out so well.
Come on. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Forster. 8. Faster. Faster. Move those legs, Forster. Come on. 5, 6. Line hoppers. Go. 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. Yep.
So obviously we filmed all these exercises separately, and then I just like in post just like cut them all together. It was pretty nice.
I can't do this. I can't do it.
Shut your mouth, Forrester. If you keep talking like that, you won't get nowhere. Now, come on, let's go.
let's go. Come on, come on.
This is one of those instances in the script where the training sequence is literally like half a page. It's just like, you know, Finney trains Jean and these little lines that she has, but that is it. And then we turned it into like a 3-minute sequence. So that happens a lot where, you know, you could have a really long, detailed scene that turns out to be like 30 seconds, but you can also have these really short scenes in the script that turn out to be very long. So there's a deleted scene here where he says, run around this circle and you'll be for sure an Olympic champion or something like that. And it's a funny part from the movie where for some reason when Finney is training Jean, he's just like, run around these trees. And then Jean just runs around some trees like 3 or 4 times. And Finney's like so impressed by it. He's like, oh my God, you're going to be an Olympic champion. Just didn't make any sense. It was a funny joke to us when we were watching the movie in class. So we were like, you know what, we're going to integrate that into the movie, but it ended up becoming more of a deleted scene than it was anything. It just didn't fit.
You're going to the Olympics.
I love Finney during this training sequence. He's just great.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Hey, don't throw up back there. Stop that. Go to the bathroom.
That is one of the funniest things that we put into the movie, and it's not in the script. So that is one of those instances where, you know, when we're filming, we just come up with something and we're like, you know, let's put that in there. So we had Miss Saku, who is a wonderful human being. She was watching over us while we filmed this day. It was a Friday, and we were filming the trial and the talking heads and the Finney's death and everything like that, and the funeral too. So this was that day that we filmed all that. And we decided, because we had this talking head of her going and throwing up, we were like, you know what, Miss Saku was sitting like right there in the room, so we were like, you know what, you want to make a cameo? And she's like, all right. So we had her make a cameo, and my gosh, it was the funniest thing that I think we've ever filmed. Like, we busted out laughing after she filmed that, and you guys can see that in probably the deleted scenes or bloopers when I release that. So this is just like stock YouTube footage that I used for the ski video that they were watching.
Wow.
Pretty great.
Incredible.
Are you serious, Lover?
Oh, I'm serious. I'm enlisting.
What?
You're enlisting now?
I didn't know you had it in you, leopard.
Oh, I do. That'll be fine. I'll see you all again soon.
It's a very small connecting scene. I like that scene though, how it has everyone in it. Alright, so here's the Winter Carnival. This was the second thing we filmed. This was like really the first big thing we filmed. Like, we filmed that one scene with Hansel, but this was our first big thing that we filmed. This was a Saturday.
Alright, listen, I'm about to start, so...
Jean was also, Katie, she was also not available for this day. So we just had it, Brinker, me, and we had Darian there to film. That was it. That's all we had. We had 3 people. And Aiden wasn't available and Noah wasn't available, so we weren't able to get many people here for the Winter Carnival. Which sucked, but it turned out well. Now in the script, Finney gets on this sled.
The Winter Carnival!
I love this scream. Hold on. Begin! But anyway, Finney gets on this sled and he slides down the hill and, smacks his face, like what kind of happens in the movie. But we expected it to snow more, but it didn't snow. So I had a really hard time trying to slide down this hill, and eventually I just decided I'm just going to jump. So that's what I ended up doing.
Finney!
I love this though.
Oh my God, Finney!
I love the sound of the mic. It's so good. Here's Darian, our narrator.
Hey, Gene, watch this!
So So we were at my old middle school and just using this field and just finding whatever we can to do for the Winter Carnival.
Look, I'm Finney. Ah! Ah! Get him!
There's a nice little cut there if you could catch it, where it switched from Darian holding the camera to me holding the camera, because we only had 3 people. So in the book, Brinker gets drowned with like apple cider, so in here we just use Gatorade,
Finney,
which was nice.
Yeah, what's up, Brink?
This is for Jean.
Oh.
So we filmed this on 2 separate days and we cut them together, which was kind of cool because Katie, like I said, was not here for this day. I think it cut together pretty well. So, you know, you can see it kind of cut to this. This was on a Monday, so we filmed the Winter Carnival on a Saturday and we filmed this on a Monday. And I had to wear the same clothes. This was pretty cool that I got to print out this little letter that Leper sends to Jean.
Nothing.
Nobody. It was kind of cool to have that little prop.
All right.
I gotta go.
Go where? Dean? Dean, where are you going? Where you going, man?
I love this scene. This is a great scene. Katie does an awesome job, but Aiden also does a phenomenal job. I love this.
Oh. Jean. I spend most of my time here.
So when I was back to when I actually was going to cast everyone and I was trying to think of, you know, who's going to play who, you know, I knew, you know, from reading the book that Leper goes crazy eventually. And I was like, you know, out of all my friends, Aiden was the one. Aiden was definitely the one person that needed to play Leper. He has that crazy look. He has that crazy acting mentality. He can definitely pull it off. So, and I knew that from the beginning. So this was his payoff scene that I knew was coming, and he did a phenomenal job. And we used this knife that was not in the script. So it was just a knife that Aiden had. So it's great. As you can see, most of this takes place in the same location.
I escaped.
Like, this is the same location that we had the beach scene. So, this is all Darian's house that we filmed at in Braddock, which is my middle school.
I escaped. They were going to give me Section 8 discharge.
So we always had 2 cameras on the scene, which was something completely new for me because I just got a new camera for Christmas. So it was really cool to finally have 2 cameras on a scene that I can cut between, and it worked so well, and I'm so happy. I also got these mics that are great, and yeah, I was very happy with that.
Dismembered arms, legs, dead people.
I love... Katie drops this little line about the beaver dam. It's a really cool line.
Yes, I am.
I think it's really cool because, you know, the actors kind of brought something to this film that I couldn't even imagine, you know, like, definitely. And Katie's one of them. Like, Katie brings such an interesting atmosphere to this film, and it makes the film excel in so many ways. And you know, she adds these little lines, and I add these little lines, and Ethan adds lines, and we deviate from the script. Like, the script is like a baseline, but we did a lot of improv. Like, Aiden didn't even really look at the script. I just gave him a few outlines, and then he was like, you know, okay, and then we went from there. So, you know, there's a lot of deviation from the script, but I think that's a great thing, because sometimes my writing in the script that I wrote in, like, you know, periodically, like, very quickly, yeah, I think what turned out was way better than what could have. And she drops this little line about the beaver dam, as I was saying, and that's a big part from the book, but it's never mentioned in here. So, and it's not in the script either. So, it's kind of cool that she just threw that in, which was nice.
I don't know what you're talking about, Leper. You have no idea what's happened.
I know exactly what happened.
No, you do not, Leper. I'm Leper.
You know what
I love these little book lines.
Chips are down.
Swell guy when the chips are down. That's a really major book quote, so I was excited to put that in. Another problem throughout the movie is this is one of the biggest problems, and we go from, Finney is hit in the head beside a tree and falls beside it. He's not, he doesn't fall out of the tree or gets pushed out of the tree. That doesn't happen like in the book. So there was a lot of moments where, our minds that are stuck to what happened in the movie and in the book, we ended up saying, pushed out of the tree. But in reality, in this movie, that's not what happened. So it confused a lot of people, and that's a mistake on our behalf. But like I said, we didn't have much time. I mean, I was writing the script the night before we filmed, and we were, we just kind of went with it. It was very difficult with the time constraints, but we got it done, and I think it turned out really well, even with these little mistakes that we have.
Wanna push me?
Leopard, you've gone crazy.
I'm crazy.
Leopard,
You pushed someone out of a
down.
tree.
Leopard, calm down.
Want me to calm down?
Yes.
This fight scene's great. Originally, we were gonna have Aiden randomly fall in a pool, but he was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I was like, all right. But this fight scene's cool. I like this.
Calm.
You can also see Darian's little brother with his dog in the background here in a second. Katie fell, and that was a hard fall, but I had to cut it real quick because we all started laughing.
Yeah, great
There's
friend.
Darian's brother.
Great friend you are!
Aiden's awesome. Aiden does this role so well. And this is the end of Act 2. Start of Act 3, the peace. Starting off with the trial. I wrote this the day before we filmed it. This is back to that Friday with Miss Saku, where we were filming in school. I do smile a little bit
wake
here.
up. You too,
kind
Forster. Come
of catch
on.
it.
Come on, wake up.
You can
Come
see
on,
Miss Saku
wake up,
in the
both of
background.
you.
She's just sitting there watching over us.
Come on.
You'll see her a lot of
The
parts
truth.
in these little
We
parts.
need to find the truth, Finney. Come on.
We're wearing my my sophomore class shirt. the Finney stick. That's a very old prop that I've had. I used to use it for Morgan for my Walking Dead skits, and it just worked out really well. I already had it. Right here in a second, you'll see that when I was walking on the floor, on the tile floor, my stick like skidded. I think you can see it from the alternate camera angle that I didn't use at all. It's Noah's camera angle, and he's standing like outside of frame to the right here. But you can see it, I think, on there. And Katie kind of starts laughing a little bit. But it's not that noticeable, so it's okay. But you'll see Katie kind of smile, and my stick, you'll see me kind of right there. And you can see her smile. Yeah.
Go on, sit down. Tonight,
There was like basketball practice and stuff going on when we filmed this, and they're all like watching us.
the accident. Finney's accident.
What? Is this some kind of joke?
Look, there's a war going on, and we've already lost one brave soldier. I'd like to know the reason why we lost him.
This deviated from the script a lot.
It's for the good of both of you. Gene, how would you like it if all of this got out and some rumor spread or something?
But like I said, I wrote the script the night before, so it was really hard. We couldn't really memorize these lines. We didn't have time because we had to go straight to school, actually have school, and then this was after school.
Look,
So you can see us looking down at the script, kind of.
Nothing to tell Brandon.
Me and Katie have a script below us at our feet, and Ethan has one with him.
why did you fall?
I tripped, lost my balance.
You have the best balance out of any of us.
So many of these lines are taken straight out of the book, and it's so nice to have that, that fan service of the book.
Someone else was at that tree. Isn't that so?
No. Or maybe.
Forrester, were you there?
Yes, I was there.
What happened at the tree, Gene?
There's Miss Saku in the background.
I don't recall much.
She made constant cameos.
No one's accusing you of anything.
Well, of course no one was accusing me.
Wait. I think I remember. It was like I was at the tree.
Although I hate my acting, I love how I
said something
perform
about
this
doing a
line,
double jump.
and I think it's a really good
You
line.
said that it was a horrible idea, and I said,
Also, Aiden wasn't
I
available
said-
this Friday for when we were
Of course.
filming, so
of course. And
And then
we couldn't have him actually at the trial.
I don't know.
So we actually filmed him on a green screen back on the day we filmed Blitzball.
Someone else might.
And we composited him in here. It doesn't look great, but it's what we had to deal with because of time constraints, like I said.
He's lost his mind.
Not all of it.
So that's why it seems a little janky here when we talk to Leper.
And I will uncover the truth. The truth is holding them back.
I do not think Leper would be brought back into this. The last time I checked, he had a knife pointed at me.
So yeah, you can see it's definitely, you know, you can tell it's fake, but I think it looks pretty good for what we had.
I was there.
What did you see then?
I saw two shadows in the tree. One of their hands just went on the other. The other one fell.
You got anything else?
Aiden throws a chair that we had in the green screen room. It's so funny because there's no chairs over there, so it's just hilarious that he throws a chair.
You're getting trapped.
And he's gone.
Some new
So
insight.
that was great.
I don't care. I don't care.
So this is right from the book, these lines.
You can't leave. We don't have.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Finney actually drops an
Get your
F-bomb,
facts,
but
Breaker.
we cut
Get
that
every
out.
single fact in the whole world.
I love this slap that we decided to do.
What's wrong with you?
Looks good.
I did not expect this to happen.
Ethan's awesome.
Don't.
I love this scene. This was one of the, you know, obviously from the beginning I had to conceptualize how I was going to do the falling down the stairs. Originally I was actually going to fall down my stairs, but it didn't work because of the locations. So we decided to do a cut down, falling down the stairs. That's the style we went with. But I always knew I was going to do this scene of her running down the hallway and trying to catch me. And us stopping at the stairs.
I never wanted to believe the war was real because I couldn't deal with that. Because I couldn't be in it. Something I was best at. No, Gene. No. No, you. I really hope it was something evil because
I love the scene. I love that Darian, I don't give enough props to the cameraman, but Noah and Darian did an amazing job filming all this. So this is all Noah here,
smartest person in the school.
but we also have
You don't
Darian
even
down
know
at the
how
bottom of
much
the steps,
someone
which was a really cool
loves
shot,
someone.
and I love it. And both of my cameras
You were my
have
best
completely
friend
different like
in the summer
settings and
and the winter.
preferences for different scenes, so I definitely switched them around a lot.
But now
Like the color is way
I don't
saturated
even
there,
know who
which
you
is
are.
nice. But here it's a lot darker and more real. This was painful to film, this falling down the stairs scene. But from the beginning, I had this idea that, you know, he's gonna fall twice. He's gonna get up and, you know, slip and fall the second time. So that was a great thing that we added in. It's hilarious. Yeah, it was painful falling down these stairs because I kind of had to like lay on them and like constantly act like I'm smacking my head off of them, which was very difficult.
Doctor?
Here's Darian, that's the doctor.
Oh my god, he's impaled!
We didn't originally plan for him to get impaled. Obviously, it's not in the script. So yeah, he never originally got impaled. He didn't get impaled in the book, obviously. But when we were filming, I was like, you know, what if he gets impaled? So we just kind of went with that, and it's hilarious. So I love it. We also cut out a doctor talking head here. That just didn't work. This is pretty cool. Like I said, that Friday, Aiden wasn't available, so we couldn't have him at the funeral. We actually shot a green screen footage of Aiden for the funeral, but for one, I completely forgot to get the actual like shot of the field so I could put him in there. But also, it probably just wouldn't have worked. It would have cut some of the emotional tension, and I like these four, and I think it works the way it turned out better than if I put him in there. This is the same music from the beginning of the film, so it's a nice tie-in. When I was editing, I was like, hey, that would be really neat to, you know, have this kind of story arc for the music, which is really nice. Some of the music was composed by Katie herself, so it was the music during the trial and during Finney's jumping and during the Winter Carnival, so pretty cool. But this music's awesome, and we play this at the beginning and the end, like I said, and it kind of ties up the whole film. I made this grave this Friday, like that Friday that we filmed this, and I made that grave in tech ed because we were making shelves, and I had just learned how to do the edges on the shelf thing, so I was like, you know what, I need to make a grave for this film, so I made one real quick in tech ed, and it turned out really well. We also have his stick laying there I got impaled with. I didn't even notice that until later. This is a great scene. This isn't even really,
You were my best friend.
most of this funeral was all, you know, improv.
Smartest person in
Like,
the
we just
school.
kind of did it. Like, the script is very short
You
for
don't
this.
even know how much someone can love someone.
I love this. This is so cool. It shows, really, I mean, it's a very ironic thing because, you know, me and Katie have a great friendship in real life, and, you know, it's a valued friendship by me, definitely, and, you know, it's really cool to put us together in this film to see this, you know, this strong bond of friendship, and it works for both the film and real life, so it's great. It was a great bonding experience between all our friends, and it's definitely emotional for all of us.
You were my best friend in the summer, in the winter.
We are gathered here today to remember the life of our good friend, Phineas.
So as you can see, he's holding the separate piece novel that we had from class. Also, his little "we are gathered here today," that's a joke from our Minecraft world that I brought into here. It's just every time someone would die in our Minecraft world, I'd have this stupid funeral, and I'd always start with, "We are gathered here today." So it was kind of funny to bring that in, and I had Noah deliver that line, especially because he is very familiar with that inside joke. So it's very inside joke. Yeah, it's stupid, but it's funny to us. There's so many things that we hid in here that it's just, you know,
Great man and an even better friend.
great parts. Great addition. There's a script laying on the ground. You can't really hear him, but he says, "You will be missed, good sportsman." I kind of, I was inspired with that line by the line, I think it was in Rise of Skywalker when spoiler, Leia dies, and they say like, "Rest, sweet princess," or something like that. So I kind of took from there, and I did, instead of sweet princess, obviously good sportsman. So that was pretty cool that I did that, but I like that line. But you can't hear it that well, which sucks. It's alright though. This is more about the funeral, not what they're saying, you know. It's more to be immersed in what's happening than what's being said. That's kind of how I wanted it to be for this. Until this part, obviously. Now there's a deleted scene here, as you can see in the script, and Katie says this line about how hard it's going to be, and then Ethan drops this "that's what she said" line, and it was hilarious when we filmed it, but obviously that breaks all emotional tension in the scene, so I was like, yeah, we can't keep that in, but it'll be a deleted scene, and it was hilarious when we filmed it, so, but yeah, not good for the final takes.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. You know, Brinker, I've been thinking about it, and I want to enlist with you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, the war's that way, Kate.
I love the ending to this. It's so good. And
Some things will be left behind.
I don't compose my own music, so I don't get to pick, you know, where the music ends other than when I'm editing. And my God, sometimes it just works out so perfectly that the music just
without any inkling of the consequences.
the music just syncs up so well, and it does it here, as you can hear if you listen.
Well, Finney, this.
I love this shot. The shot's so good. This was all filmed by me, so it's probably why I love it so much. Love it. I love that little "oh" at the end. It's such a great sound. So obviously here's the credits, but other than that, that is the full separate piece movie. So I hope you guys learned some stuff about our little filming experience. It was a definitely difficult time. The main thing was definitely the time constraints. I mean, the weather was hard too, but we got really lucky with our weather conditions. Like, even though it was cold, but like, it's winter, so we had to kind of expect that. But like, we got really lucky because, I mean, we got no rain days where, you know, we had to deal with rain really. So it was really nice. Actually, that Friday, it was raining a little bit. But that's okay because it was a funeral, so it worked out well. But yeah, we got really lucky. It was a really beautiful day that we filmed, you know, the Winter Carnival, and the day that we filmed Leper's fight scene, all that stuff. It was a beautiful day. So, I don't know. It definitely worked out very well for us, and I'm very proud of what we put together as just students in a week and a half. And it's very, I have a lot of pride for it. It's very good. It's the first movie that I've ever made. As you can see, I have the poster up here. I'll put it up on the screen because you guys probably can't even see that, but I made a poster, and I got one for Miss Geiger, our English teacher. Here's a quote that I decided that during editing, when I was editing, I was like, you know, that would be a nice little touch, and I added a little quote in at the end. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, we got a poster for our teacher, Miss Geiger, and she loved it. Absolutely loved it. She was so happy with it. She loved this film. It was great. It was so cool because we got to sit down, you know, we got to watch it with the class. It's such a great experience, and I love doing that. Getting to see other people's reaction to what you do is one of the most heartwarming things, you know. I felt like a movie star that day in school. Like, it was so crazy, you know. So many English classes got to see it, and, you know, they all told me how great it was, how funny it was, what their favorite parts were. And it was just great. So it was a great feeling to have, and just in all, it was a really great experience, and I'm glad we did it. And, you know, it was a daring endeavor in the beginning. You know, we're gonna make a full movie. That's what it was. You know, I had 15 scenes planned out. I was like, these are the main scenes that we're gonna do. You know, it was a list of just, you know, the main ones. You know, like the beach scene, the math test scene, the trial, the Finney's death, the funeral. You know, we had all those, you know, just kind of planned out on paper. And then I began writing that night and just started, you know, going as fast as I could to write all this. I mean, some days I would write like the end of the script just because I knew it would be more convenient to film that. Like, our filming schedule was crazy. We filmed nothing in order. The most we filmed in order was the end of it, where we filmed the funeral last. But other than that, like, everything else we filmed so out of order. Like I said, we filmed Hansel's scene first, then we filmed Winter Carnival, then we filmed that Monday. We filmed in a complete opposite order. Like, even though we filmed a lot of scenes, we filmed so opposite because we had to work with daylight, obviously. So we did all the inside scenes last, but we did all the outside scenes first. So it was so hard for the actors to, you know, what am I supposed to know at this point in time? But I mean, that's how real filmmaking is, so we had to kind of roll with that. I don't know, but definitely thank you to Miss Geiger for giving us this project, because obviously it wouldn't have happened if Miss Geiger didn't give us this project. And definitely thank you to all the actors and who just did a phenomenal job with this film. I mean, every single one of them. The cameramen were amazing. I love so many of these shots that they do that I probably couldn't have done myself, obviously. So I love how it turned out. The editing was great, which is all me. That took over 20 hours to edit. But I don't know, I just love it. Katie did a phenomenal job. I'm so proud of that she got included and that she did the phenomenal job that she did, because she was amazing. And everyone just did an awesome job. So thank you, everyone, for watching the film. If you've seen it, if you haven't, why are you watching this? Go watch the film. But if you did watch it, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this director's commentary. The bloopers will be out soon. I'm going to work on them very soon. So, and then the next movie will come, which the next project is already being worked on. It'll start filming in a few weeks. So I'm excited to show you guys what I have in store for you. And it's not about the views. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality, and it's about the memories. You know, it's not about how many people see this. I mean, that's always a, you know, a benefit, but at this point, you know, YouTube kind of sucks for, you know, getting people views, and I'm just not worried about it anymore. You know, this is about creativity. This is about making memories with my friends, and that's all that matters. So, you know, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.